Deputy, you testified that you were the one who stopped my client, Miss Adair, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you recognized her?
Yes.
Okay, but didn't you just testify you didn't know what kind of car she was driving?
Correct. I estimated it to be about a car length behind.
1 car length for every 10 miles an hour. That is a quote-unquote rule of thumb. We've heard it on.
James testified to what he witnessed when he was coming the other way. That's why I asked him about if his camera was activated at that time. If there is footage of that, it wasn't shared with me.
So I believe at this time I had already turned around. I was traveling northbound.
Okay.
Like he said.
The video sunk your boat. In my impression, you were too close behind that truck. So I find that you're responsible for following too closely.
A woman named Jasmine was dealt with by deputies from the St. Joseph County Sheriff's Office in Michigan after she was accused of illegally following another vehicle too closely on a state highway. Instead of simply paying the civil traffic ticket, she challenged the citation in court. It backfired on her. The incident began on July 25, 2025, when Deputy Jesse Raymond of the St. Joseph County Sheriff's Office, while traveling southbound on US 131 near Three Rivers, Michigan, he observed what he believed were two vehicles traveling dangerously close together. He estimated that Jasmine Adair's vehicle was only about 1 car length behind the vehicle in front of her. Michigan law addresses this conduct through Michigan Compiled Laws Section 257.643.
The charge alleges a violation of MCL 257643 under the Motor Vehicle Code for following too closely. As I indicated, this is a civil infraction. I believe it carries 2 points, and it does carry, I believe, a $120 fine. Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Abigail Stoll is here with her Officer Jesse Raymond. The jurat is signed. We're ready to proceed. Madam Prosecutor?
I'll waive opening argument.
Okay, certainly. We don't need any. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You may call your witness.
I'll call Deputy Raymond to the stand.
The deputy's testimony, the prosecutor's presentation, and even the officer's understanding of the law all put her under intense scrutiny. But while the defense kept greeting the officer and confusing him with legal loopholes, one piece of evidence ultimately changed the direction of the hearing.
Good morning, sir. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
Thank you. Have a seat. Would you state your name for the record, please?
Deputy Jesse Raymond.
And spell your first and last name.
JESSERAYMOND.
All right. Ms. Stoll.
Deputy Raymond, where are you employed?
St. Joseph County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you worked there?
Just under 6 years.
What do you do?
Primarily now I'm covering complaint vehicle, meaning I take complaints on the road. I also conduct traffic stops.
Do you have any other experience in law enforcement?
Outside of the sheriff's office, no, but I do have other assignments.
Were you on patrol on July 25th of 2025?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What shift?
I was on the day shift. I was assigned to the traffic unit.
Deputy Raymond turned his patrol vehicle around, followed Jasmine's vehicle for roughly half a mile, and eventually initiated a traffic stop. After speaking with her, he issued a civil citation for following too closely. This was not a criminal offense. Jasmine was not arrested, handcuffed, or taken to jail. Instead, she received a civil infraction carrying a monetary fine and 2 points on her driving record. Rather than simply paying the ticket, Jasmine exercised one of the rights every driver has under American law. She challenged the citation in court. Contesting a civil traffic citation is completely lawful, and every person accused of violating traffic laws has the opportunity to require the government to prove its case before a judge. That burden always remains on the government, not on the defendant. By December 3, 2025, everyone assembled inside the 3B District Court in St. Joseph County under Judge Jeffrey Middleton.
What was the general location where you were at?
I was traveling southbound on 131. I was south of Three Rivers. I was just approaching Drummond Road.
All right. Did you see something that caught your attention?
There's moderate traffic that day. I did notice two vehicles that were very close together.
Could you describe the vehicle that was following?
I don't recall.
What did you do after that?
So I had my radar unit activated. I clocked the lead vehicle going approximately 60 miles an hour. I saw the following vehicle was traveling quite close as they passed by. I estimated it to be about a car length behind.
The prosecutor called Deputy Raymond as her first witness, and he explained what he observed on the highway. Defense attorney Paul Spaniolo objected. He argued that although Deputy Raymond could testify about what he personally observed, he should not automatically be allowed to give expert opinions about traffic crash analysis without first establishing the necessary qualifications. The judge stated that he was not qualifying Deputy Raymond as an accident reconstruction expert. Instead, he allowed the deputy to explain why he believed the citation was appropriate based upon his own experience as a traffic officer.
Turned around at that intersection, and it took me about a half mile to catch up. I caught up to him just before Gleason Road, where I conducted the traffic stop.
I'm sorry, forgive me, I'm a little hard of hearing. I didn't catch the tail end of what the witness just stated.
You caught up half a mile at Gleason Road, and then you said something else.
That's where I conducted the traffic stop, was just south of Gleason, northbound.
Thank you.
And then what did you do after that?
I made contact with Miss Adair. I explained the reason for the traffic stop. Got her license, registration, insurance, and issued a citation.
Is Miss Adair in the courtroom?
Yes, she is.
Could you describe something she's wearing and point her out, please?
She's wearing gold frame glasses and a black shirt.
Let the record reflect that the officers identified the defendant.
It may.
And then did you write Miss Adair a ticket?
Yes, I did.
What for?
For following too closely.
In your experience, was that a reasonable length to keep?
No, I have.
That decision to let deputy explain his point of view is legally significant because judges frequently distinguish between expert testimony and what courts call lay opinion. Officers are generally permitted to explain observations they personally made during an investigation without necessarily becoming expert witnesses.
Considerable experience, particularly with traffic crashes where there's rear end collisions. Almost all of those cases, it's a matter of either following too closely or they're unable to stop in a short period of distance.
Objection. I don't think there's a foundation laid for his expertise as being an expert with traffic crashes.
Well, all right. We can establish that. He indicated he'd been an officer 6 years and then traffic enforcement. Madam Prosecutor, would you inquire further about his qualifications in this area?
Deputy Raymond, do you have any sort of special training or experience in traffic accidents?
Just academy training and then routine experience with traffic crashes. I respond to and investigate crashes as a traffic unit, also as a complaint deputy.
How often do you respond to these accidents and complaints?
I would say on a weekly basis over the last 5.5 years.
How many citations do you think you've actually written?
I couldn't give you a number.
Once the prosecution completed direct examination, Attorney Spaniolo began what would become one of the most effective portions of the hearing. Instead of immediately arguing about whether Jasmine was guilty or innocent, he began testing the deputy's memory.
Over hundreds. This is a civil infraction, and he's given his opinion regarding this circumstance. I think he's qualified in the context of a traffic enforcement officer, certainly not an accident reconstructionist or anything, but I'll allow the testimony regarding his opinion about why he wrote this citation.
Thank you, Judge.
You said that you were traveling on US 31 southbound?
Objection asked and answered.
We're just getting back into it. Yeah, it's 131. Go ahead.
Where were you located when you stopped the defendant?
We were on US 131 traveling northbound just south of Gleason Road.
In what township?
That's Fabius Township.
In St. Joseph County, Michigan?
Correct.
During cross-examination, Jasmine Adair's attorney, Paul Spaniolo, systematically challenged Deputy Jesse Raymond's credibility and the legal basis for the citation. He first established that the deputy could not remember basic facts, including the make of Jasmine's vehicle and the vehicle she was allegedly following, until he reviewed his own citation. He then questioned the deputy about his claim during the traffic stop that the courts have found drivers should maintain 1 car length for every 10 miles per hour of speed. When asked to identify the legal authority for that statement, Deputy Raymond admitted he could not recall where the guideline came from and acknowledged it was used only as an educational rule of thumb.
Deputy, you testified that you were the one who stopped my client, Miss Adair, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you recognized her?
Yes.
Okay, but didn't you just testify you didn't know what kind of car she was driving?
Correct.
Okay. Would it help if I showed you the ticket to refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Okay. May I approach, Judge?
Yes.
For, I guess, the jurat? Let me know when you're done looking at the ticket. Is your memory refreshed?
I have the citation for a 2012 Toyota. I don't remember the model of the vehicle. I do remember the Indiana registration.
Would you disagree with me if I told you it was a Toyota Prius?
No.
Okay. So when you testified for the people, you stated that you were going in the opposite direction, right?
The attorney further highlighted that MCL 257.643 contains no such fixed distance requirement and instead uses the reasonable and prudent standard. He also questioned why the body camera footage showing the initial observation was unavailable and whether the deputy had considered factors such as traffic, road conditions, and Jasmine's possible intention to pass.
Right? And you just testified that my client was driving a Toyota. Do you know what the vehicle was that was in front of her?
I don't recall.
Okay. Would you have any reason to doubt me if I said it was a GMC pickup?
No.
Okay. But you did catch the distance between that vehicle and my client?
Correct.
Okay. And you remember that there was 1 car length?
Correct.
Okay. Did you provide any video recordings to the people? Like body wear cam or dash cam?
I did not. I don't know if my clerk's did or not.
Okay. So would it surprise you if it was provided? Okay. And do you recall what you said to Miss Adair when you approached her vehicle?
Yes, I do.
Can you share with me what you said?
Yeah. So I asked her for her license, registration, and insurance, which she provided me. I informed her that she was following the vehicle in front of her too closely. I told her that they were traveling close to the speed limit, and given that speed, that was too close to be following the vehicle in front of her.
Would you doubt me if I just stated that you stated at the time that the courts have found that you need to be traveling 1 car length per 10 miles per hour?
I did say that to her, not as a...
Although these questions exposed weaknesses in the deputy's memory and legal explanation, the deputy consistently maintained that, based on his observations, Jasmine was following the lead vehicle too closely under the roadway conditions, and the judge ultimately found the remaining evidence sufficient to uphold the citation.
What authority are you relying on for that statement? When I say authority, legal authority.
I was using it as an education piece.
So you just made it up?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, where'd you get it from?
I don't recall.
Okay. So you read this, you're familiar with the statute, right?
So
And what does it use?
you must be no closer than reasonable and prudent to the vehicle.
Reasonable, prudent person. Are you familiar with, you're familiar with the State of Michigan Secretary of State, right? Okay. Are you familiar with a publication that they put out called What Every Driver Must Know?
I'm familiar with it. I don't recall any text in it.
Would you doubt me if I said it doesn't say anything about a car length for every 10 miles? Okay. I'll help you. It doesn't.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Well, the officer accepted the answer that He accepted that he is familiar with that publication, which every Michigan driver has to review before they take their driver test. I'll allow it. It's not.
The defense attorney confused Deputy Jesse Raymond by asking a series of precise, fact-based questions that exposed gaps in both his memory and the legal foundation for his testimony.
When you came up behind my client, did you notice the, I guess, double lines, dotted lines in the roadway?
At the location of the traffic stop. I believe it would have been a double line, but I don't recall.
You don't know if my client was attempting to pass that vehicle either, do you? You didn't ask her, did you?
I had turned around and followed the vehicle for approximately half a mile.
Okay.
I'm gonna inject myself a little bit.
I'm sorry, Judge?
I'm gonna inject myself into this to add some context. On the map, run 131 looks like it runs flat, straight, north and south. Is that correct?
It's a relatively hilly section.
Well, that's what I'm gonna ask. It's actually on what's known as the Big Hill. Is that correct? 131 and Drummond Road is on what's known as the Big Hill between.
In Jasmine Adair's case, the defense successfully highlighted that Deputy Jesse Raymond could not initially recall basic details, such as the vehicles involved, which allowed the judge to criticize his courtroom preparation. However, the judge also made clear that an imperfect memory alone does not invalidate otherwise credible evidence, especially when objective evidence like body camera footage supports the officer's observations.
What's known as the Big Hill between Three Rivers and Constantine. Is that correct?
I'm not familiar with the term.
You're not? Okay. Anyway, it's a big hill, and it's common. Well, maybe I'm too old, but there have been many, many accidents there. One time we had two drunk drivers hit each other on the big hill, and they were both killed. Anyway, was this on the hill?
A portion of the observation period was, yes.
Okay, so this is a big hill, and so they're both going up the hill at that point. Is that correct?
They had gone up the hill and I had stopped them after descending down.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Anything else, Judge? I'm sorry.
No, I don't know if you've been there, but
Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with.
at any rate, it's on the big hill, and apparently they were headed uphill, and then he stopped them as they headed down.
The defense made one strategic decision that ultimately helped the deputy and the prosecution. By offering to play the body camera video, the defense likely expected it to reinforce the argument that the prosecution lacked footage of the deputy's initial observation.
I got a video that shows you stopping the vehicle. I don't know if it would help the court making a decision if the people don't object. I mean, I'll play the video.
Attorney Paul Spaniolo specifically told the judge that the recording just reflects the stop and does not show what the deputy testified he witnessed when the vehicles first passed him going the opposite direction. He argued that if any footage of that initial observation existed, it had not been disclosed to the defense. In other words, the defense was portraying the video as incomplete and suggesting it could not corroborate the deputy's original claim.
I don't think it actually reflects what the deputy testified to what he witnessed when he was coming the other way. So I don't want you to go through all this laborious effort.
All right, so it doesn't show the actual.
It shows him doing a U-turn and coming up behind the two vehicles, my client being the closer one to him. It doesn't show what with Deputy
Raymond.
James testified to what he witnessed when he was coming the other way. That's why I asked him about if his camera was activated at that time. If there is footage of that, it wasn't shared with me.
What are we seeing here, officer?
So I believe at this time I had already turned around. I was traveling northbound.
Okay.
Like he said.
Judge Jeffrey Middleton immediately concluded that the visual evidence was more persuasive than the weaknesses the defense had exposed during cross-examination.
Traffic, the reason I stopped you, you and the vehicle in front of you guys were both going about the speed limit. You were right on his tail, so you got to have a little bit of space off a little more coverage. Rule of thumb, there's not really any number on it specifically. The courts have found that about 1 car length for every 10 miles an hour. So you really should have been 5 or 6 car lengths back behind him at the least. So, you got interest in vehicle?
Okay. Thank you for indulging me, Judge.
Thank you. That certainly didn't translate very well to the live stream, but they could hear it and I could see the video. I didn't see what was going on the way up the hill, but I could see what was going on the way down the hill. All right. Any further questions for this officer?
No, thank you, though. Thank you, Deputy. Appreciate it.
He acknowledged that the deputy had not been well prepared and that his testimony had been unclear in places, but he told the defense attorney that the video had sunk your boat. The judge explained that although he could not see what happened before the deputy turned around, the video clearly showed Jasmine driving right on the lead vehicle's bumper while descending the hill on a 2-lane highway where passing was prohibited. Based on what he observed, he found that she had been following too closely under MCL 257.643, despite the deputy's mistaken 1 car length per 10 miles per hour explanation.
Ms. Stoll, do you have any further questions for the officer? Do you have any questions for the officer?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. You can step down. Any further witnesses?
No.
All right. Mr. Spinolio, you wish to call the defendant?
Judge, if you're prepared to make a decision, and being mindful of the court's docket, if you're prepared, I'll waive presenting my client. I mean, the video speaks for itself. I think that the facts, what the deputy said,
Thank you. I'm disappointed in that the prosecutor didn't play the video. Have you even viewed it? Have you seen it before?
I saw it, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I would have liked to have seen it as part of the prosecution case because she's right on his tail. The video sunk your boat.
He told Deputy Raymond that officers cannot sleepwalk through court and should review their police report, citation, and available video before testifying because competent defense attorneys will expose any lack of preparation. He also criticized the prosecutor for failing to introduce the body camera footage during the state's case, noting that the defense ended up providing the strongest evidence against its own client.
Good, because they hadn't even looked at the ticket or know what kind of vehicle it was, and his testimony was unclear, and it wasn't clear where it was. It's on the biggest hill in St. Joseph County. But you were right on his tail. I don't know where you were going up the hill, but going down the hill right up until the stop, you were right on his bumper. And it's not a place to pass. Passing is prohibited there for quite some time, going up the hill and down the hill. What the statute actually says, the officer says, the rule of thumb is you should give 1 car length for every 10 miles an hour. That is a quote unquote rule of thumb. We've heard it on television commercials and other thing. It isn't in the statute anywhere. What the statute says, the officer quoted it pretty well. The driver of a vehicle shall not follow another vehicle more closely than is reasonable and prudent.
Finally, the judge ruled that Jasmine was responsible for the civil infraction, ordered her to pay the traffic fine, and explained that the violation would appear on her Michigan and eventually Indiana driving record.
In my impression, you were too close behind that truck. So I find that you're responsible for following too closely. And I'm going to fine you $120. You can pay that today, or I'll give you 30 days to pay it if you need it. Or do you want to pay it today, or you want me to give you an envelope to pay it? All right. We don't have enough trials for young officers to learn that they're going to be subjected to cross-examination. And when a competent attorney comes in and asks questions and makes appropriate objections, it's a lot harder than some layperson trying to do the best they can. So the point being, when you come to court, you should review your police report, you should review the ticket.
Judge Middleton found Jasmine responsible for the civil infraction of following too closely under MCL 257.643. He ordered her to pay the actual fine and explained that the violation would be entered on her Michigan driving record and eventually her Indiana driving record, and that she remains careful taking such matters to court if she is guilty.
You should review the video. The video should have been presented, but I'm not doing your case. The defendant actually provided it, which gave the court proof beyond a preponderance that she violated the statute, but can't sleepwalk through these. This defendant came prepared, but I did find the violation. So you can go out to the counter, pay the $120. This will go on your Michigan and eventually Indiana driving record. It's not exactly the crime of the century, but you were too close to the car ahead of you, in my view, after watching the video. All right, we'll be in recess.